What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. And today I want to be talking about the C8 Corvette. So here's the thing. I want to talk about, is it the best Corvette ever made by Chevy? And I want to do a little bit of comparison pretty much with the C8 and the C7. Which one is it better? Is the C8 better than the C7? So I want to talk about a few things. First thing first, I'm going to be talking about the spec, and then also I'm going to be talking about price, and then pretty much I'm going to be talking about the power. So my question is, obviously I'm not no Corvette guy, I'm not no expert, this and that. I just want to set that, I just want to be able to put that out there. But in my own personal opinion, I want to be able to state that. So I was going to do the C8 and the C6, but obviously that's like I think 2 years or a year apart or something like that. But in all honesty, my personal opinion, I want to talk about this. So I want to say the C8. So the first thing first, I want to talk about the C8 spec, right? Pretty much like the design of it. So I feel like the C8 is one of those cars that's really overhyped, and the price for it is like really insane. I mean, I understand if you got the money to spend that kind of money on a C8, especially the Z06. Base model is still a little bit expensive, but I'd say like a Z06 and stuff like that, that's over almost 100 and plus pretty much. So I want to talk about the spec, right? Like the design of it. So with me personally, in being honest, I say like the design, I'm not really like a big fan on the design, but I say it doesn't look bad, but it doesn't look good too. But honestly, I think it's in the middle for me, and I just don't like how it kind of remind me of a Ferrari, like something like that, like probably like a Ferrari F1 or something like that. But yeah, close if you kind of understand what I'm saying. But yeah, it kind of remind me of some kind of supercar, and I feel like, and it's a little bit more, I've seen a few of them in person, and I feel like it's a little bit more wider, obviously wider than a C7 or a C6. And I feel like they just give it that bulky look. It just doesn't, for me, it just doesn't look, it's not a terrible look, but I just doesn't find it appealing. And I feel like it just, like the design of it, they should have stick to, like the C7, how it looked. They should have kept that body size and stuff like that pretty much. It's still not really, it still does look like a Corvette, but I'm just saying, honestly, I feel like they got that look from like a supercar or something like that, something like a Ferrari. That's what it reminds me of. But it's not really that bad looking, but in my personal opinion, I feel like Chevy should have just stick to like the regular C7, C6 look. Like you could tell when you look at a C7 and a C6, you could tell that they both came from the same generation. I mean, like the newer Corvette, you could from the front, I'd say probably, but from the back, if you were somebody who really didn't know much about, cars and stuff like that, if you see like a C8 and a C7 next to each other from like, if you're looking at it from the backside, you probably gonna think they two different cars. But who knows? I'm just saying though. But and one of the other things I want to talk about the price of it. So like I'm not one of those, I'm not rich, I'm not this and that, but I just feel like the price for it, like a price for a base model is like I'm gonna probably range from anything from like 80,000 and up for a base model, probably. With the price of cars now being expensive. But like I seen like a C8 Z06, they prices start at like 100K. And I seen I'm in a Facebook group, and I see they have some people share like some of the prices and stuff, and I seen, believe it or not, I seen somebody bought one for 250K, which is like, all I could say is like that's insane. Like if I got that kind of money, to be honest, if I got that kind of money, I'm not telling anybody how to spend their money, whatever this and that. You work hard for your money or whatever. whatever you decide to do to get your money. Like, I wouldn't tell you how to spend it. I'm not mad at you for, spending that much, but I'm just saying, with me personally, I just wouldn't spend $250K on a car like that. Especially that's pretty much a house money. $250K for a Corvette. And for the fact too, like, people paying that much money for cars like that, and I see a lot of people complain about little issue like transmission issue. Like, transmission issue is one of the things I've been seeing a lot since Chevy came out with a C8. Now there you see pretty much everybody, every grandparents on the road, whatever, got that car, C8. So a lot of older people, they like the C8, and most of the time when I see a C8, I do see like an older person behind the wheel. But for me, honestly, just speaking, like, that price is just insane. Like, $250K for a car, which I understand, it looks good, and it got a lot of hype right now about it. So, but I just wouldn't spend I just wouldn't spend that much money on it, and that price is just insane. And then one of the things too, I've seen a lot of people are saying that those cars, you can't really get a C8 tune. But I might be wrong now. But I was reading an article, but I seen that a few days ago. I was reading an article saying that now you could tune them, but that was one of the biggest things. That was one of the biggest things a lot of people was facing and stuff like that. So you spent that much money on a car, and you trying to pretty much do your own things with it. You can't really do much with it, but it might change now. Who knows? But I don't know if the article was true, but I seen something like that on Facebook. I don't know if it was true or not, but I never looked it up. But that just 250K, just too much money, man. Like, the price for it just not. I just feel like it's not worth it. And then another thing I want to talk about is I want to talk about the power. So when I'm talking about the power, I'm talking about the power wise and how much stock power does it make. But like, I'm not no professional. I'm assuming that it makes something probably around like six or 5 if you're talking about a C8 Z06. But if you're talking about probably a base model, probably make 4 something. I'm not those. I don't know the exact number, but I'm assuming that's around there and stuff like that. But me, to be honest, if I like Corvettes, but I just feel like the C6 and the C7, those are the two legendaries. Those are the two legendary ones and stuff like that. I feel like that, if I could afford any one of them, it definitely would be, if it's out of a C6, C7, or C8, obviously C6 price is not crazy insane like a C8, but C7, they be around there too. But if I could pick one, I'd probably pick a C6, because a C6 is one of the classic, Corvette that Chevy ever made. And especially if it's a Z06, I'm not talking about no base model, this and that, but especially if it's a Z06, yeah, I definitely choose that over a C7 or C8 any day. And if you know, but I just feel like the C8 is just too overhyped, and everybody and their grandparents got one. But that's just my personal opinion. That's just one of the things I wanted to talk about today. But yeah, it's my personal opinion. I just wouldn't. The price for it, the looks. The look is not really that much appealing to me. Like I said, it just looked like a regular, Ferrari or something like that. If you've seen it down the road or something, you'll probably think, if you know about cars, you'll probably think, hey, look, yeah, that's probably a Ferrari or something like that. And I feel like Corvette, they probably could have did a little bit better job with the design and stuff like that, instead of it turning out to look like another car. But I will always choose a C7 Z06 over, a C6 Z06 over a C7 or C8. But that's just me. But you guys let me know what you guys think. And I'm just giving my honest opinion. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.